everyone, a very warm welcome to the session. This is Shweta Roy, your English Master Teacher at Vedantu, and I hope everyone is doing amazingly well. So today we are going to talk about the second part or the second scene of Act 4. I hope before coming to the session where we are going to deal with the second scene, you have already watched the video related to the first scene, because the first scene of Act 4 was very important, and this scene is it is the resolution mostly. So it is not, you do not have very important events in the second scene. But what we will be doing in today's session will be talking about the first scene also, when we will be doing the question and answers, right? So please stay tuned and please come to the second session only and only after watching the first scene, because that's going to be the most important scene. You can expect a lot of questions from that scene. All right. So guys, those of you who do not know me, let me introduce myself to all of you. I am your English Master Teacher Shweta Roy, and talking about my educational qualification, I have pursued my Masters in English and B.Ed with a year of teaching experience. I have also qualified CTET and mentored more than 20,000 students, both online and offline. And you know that my motto is to unleash the power within you. So all of you are powerful, empowered. Put it down in the chat and let's begin today's session. So are you super excited? Let me see the josh. Let me see the energy. Because guys, Merchant of Venice is something which is very, very important from the point of view of your exam. So we will be talking about the synopsis, the annotation, the analysis of this act, and important question and answers from Act 4, both Scene 1 and 2. So please stay tuned throughout the video. And before I begin with the session, please show some love by hitting the like button, sharing the video with your friends, and also subscribing to the channel in case you haven't yet subscribed, because we are going to come up with one after another videos only and only for you guys, catering to both CBSE as well as ICSE. Okay, so please do not miss out on anything. And now we will be beginning with the synopsis of the second scene. So what had happened in the previous scene, if you remember, trial scene where Shylock was trapped, in his own words, by witty Portia, right? And then he was also penalized to a great amount. His property was given to Lorenzo and Jessica. He had to renounce his property, and then of course the scene ended with Portia coming out victorious. Portia, or else, Portia as in the disguised lawyer. Okay, so she coming out victorious, and Shylock coming out as a broken man. Again, if you remember, I talked about how he came, how the audience sympathy again starts to grow for Shylock, which he had lost when he turned out to be an out-and-out villain and monstrous, trying to take the life of Antonio, right? But then he again started to gain sympathy when he comes out as a broken man, losing his property, his daughter, and also he was to be converted to a Christian, right? So his religion also. So that is very, very important for all of you to note. And guys, Gratiano gives gives the disguised Portia Bassanio's ring. If you remember, Portia had asked, Portia was being witty here. She was trying to have some fun with Bassanio, her husband, okay, and she was trying to get that very ring which she had given to her husband. But of course, Bassanio could not understand, because Portia was disguised as a lawyer, and the lawyer disguised, and Portia disguised as the lawyer was asking for the ring as a token of appreciation, right? And Nerissa decides to try to obtain from Gratiano the ring that she had given. So Nerissa also does the same thing with her lover, right? So that is what had happened in Act 4, Scene 2, which is the scene of resolution and a kind of conclusion, right? So after the peak, the climax that had reached in Act 4, Scene 1, okay, the scene had reached its climax with the trial scene, right? So the trial scene is very, very important. It had reached its peak, and now with the resolution, the action starts to fall, right? I'm sure you know about the pyramid, Freytag's pyramid. So Freytag's pyramid states that at the beginning you have, so it looks something like this, right? At the beginning you have the exposition, right? Then you have the rising action, and then this is the climax or the peak, okay, the climax, okay, and then gradually the action starts to fall. So this is the scene from where the action starts to fall, and finally we have the resolution and the denouement. Refer to Freytag's pyramid. Freytag's pyramid is going to give you a complete explanation of this part. That is what the entire structure of a play. How does a play look like, right? Starting with the exposition, then rising of the action, the play reaching its climax, and therefore and after that we have the fall and the denouement and the resolution, right? Now, if you remember, I had already talked about the fact that this is a romantic comedy, so we are all apprehending happy ending, and we are all expecting happy ending, and the play ends with multiple marriages, right? So I gave you the reference to Midsummer Night's Dream as well, and exactly that happened in the similar thing happened in that play as well, right? So these are some of the annotations which you might need for your understanding. So when you're reading the play, guys, please read the original version of the play and then go to the modern version, and you would need the annotation when you read the original version, right? So please go through this part as well. If you want, you can take a screenshot from here, and later on you can refer to that when you read through the play. And now we will see the analysis of the scene. Now, as I told you, this act's final brief scene, this is the final brief scene of Act 4. This is a very short scene, and it continues the previous scene's closing mood, and this is really the conclusion, right? We are sure that Portia and Nerissa will both outface and outswear the men. So yes, we are Shakespeare's typical and commonplace, what does he do is that in romantic comedies, always he makes the women emerge as wittier and shrewder than men. So here also we find the same thing in the characters of Portia and Nerissa, right? So now we have a question for all of you guys. As Act 4 ends, where does Portia send Nerissa? To Shylock's house, back to Belmont, to find Bassanio, to find Antonio? Quickly tell me, guys. Please mention your answer in the chat. Everyone should participate. Everyone. I'm waiting for your answers. 3, 2, 1. Yes. Portia sends Nerissa to Shylock's house. Can you tell me why? If you remember, he was forced, he was penalized, and there were certain clauses to which he had to agree. So Portia now sends Nerissa to Shylock's house so that she could make him sign those deeds, right? So that is important. And then Portia's character is very important in this particular scene, and the scene which was previous to this, especially in the trial scene. Portia's character sketch, she is the soul of the play, and she is one of those Shakespearean heroines who is not only superior to all men in the climatic scene, but she also excels them indeed. Very, very important is Portia's character, which we will discuss according to or based on this particular scene, because in your term 2 you will be having these two scenes, right? Act 4 and Act 5. So Act 4, Portia's character emerges out in the minds of the audience. She emerges out as the heroine of Shakespeare's play, right? And it is she who plans and executes Antonio's deliverance and sees that merciful justice is carried out. Very, very important. Now, how far was justice that she meted out was merciful for Shylock? That is again a question to be debated upon, right? Because the justice that she meted out for Shylock was not at all merciful. He had to let go of his property, of his religion, everything. He had turned into a broken man. But still, she gave a very eloquent speech on mercy. So that is also very important. Character sketch based on that is also very, very important for us to consider, right? So now we will begin with the questions. Number one, to whom is Portia talking? Where are they at this time? Who are they searching for? So you have 3 questions to answer, guys. Please let me know the answer in the chat. Everyone, please post your answers in the chat. Okay, let's have a look. So Portia is talking to Nerissa and they are on a street in Venice. Most of the times you are asked this question, where are they right now? So please make sure that you know exactly where is the scene, what is the context and where are they at present. All of this should be very clear in your mind. That will only happen if you read the play once at least, right? They are searching for Shylock's house. And why? Because they want him to sign the deed, as I already told you. Next, why does Portia want to return to her home before her husband? Yes, that is also interesting. And you all know that she was disguised, right? Portia and Nerissa both went disguised, and this trope of disguise is very, very common in Shakespearean play. Okay, the trope of disguise is very common in Shakespearean plays. We see women disguised as men. Okay, in most of Shakespeare's play. And if you remember, I told you that in those days, women were not allowed to act on the stage. So they were actually men who used to play the part of women. Okay, that also is a point to be noted. So guys, they came to Venice in order to help Antonio. We already know that, right? In this case, against the witty Shylock, their husbands were totally unaware. Their husbands did not know about the fact that they were disguised and they had come to, rescue Shylock and all of that. Hence, Portia wanted to reach before her husband so that she could surprise him. So this also gives us an element, a light character of Portia who likes to have fun with her husband, but also very, very witty and intelligent. Okay, next is why is Portia says that the deed will be welcome to Lorenzo. Which deed is she talking about? That is also something that you need to understand here according to the context. So Lorenzo was now Shylock's son-in-law, if you remember. Okay, so Shylock had also lost his daughter. So now Lorenzo was in Belmont and he did not know about the hearing of the court. Portia had been able to prove Shylock guilty and now his estate was to be transferred to Lorenzo and his wife Jessica. Jessica was the daughter of Shylock, right? So therefore, if his estate is going to be transferred to them, it would definitely be a surprise and a pleasant surprise for Lorenzo. That's exactly what Portia is trying to say here. Okay, and now guys, we will start with extract-based questions. So please be ready for answering these questions in the chat. Okay, please be ready. And here you go with the first extract. Duke, you hear the team Bellario, what he writes. And here I take it, is the doctor come. Enter Portia dressed like a doctor of laws. So here, that's the scene where, so this is the previous scene, right? Give me your hand. Come you from old Bellario? I did, my lord. You're welcome. Take your place. Are you acquainted with the difference that holds this present question in the court? Okay, I hope you have read this extract, guys. Please read these extracts as we are doing this in the session. This is going to be very helpful for all of you. So the question is, where is the scene set? This is how exactly you're going to be asked in your exams also, the extract-based questions if you have. Okay, why was Portia there? The scene is set in the court of justice, right? So you need to know the context. To know the context, you need to read the play. You need to know the play, right? Okay, Portia was there dressed as a learned doctor of laws in the guise of Balthazar to appear on behalf of Antonio and to defend him against the lapse of the bond that he had signed with Shylock, right? So she was there to defend Antonio. You know that already. She was disguised as the doctor of law. What reason had Bellario given for his absence? Whom had he sent in his stead? So if you remember, he had given his excuse that he was, due to his illness, he could not be present in the court. And instead of him, he had sent the learned doctor Balthazar. And he also had mentioned that he was confident about the ability of Balthazar and he would be able to prove his capability even though the case was very, very crucial. Okay. Next is Bellario's letter stated that he had taken some measures to prepare the young and learned doctor to deal with the case. What were these measures? Any inputs from your end, guys? What were these measures? Okay, let's check. So, he had thoroughly discussed the case with the learned doctor of laws, that is Balthazar, and now Dr. Balthazar is fully acquainted with the case that was there in question, and he was a young man with much, although he was young, but his thoughts were very mature, his judgment was mature, and he was and he had rich experience to handle the case. So he was the perfect man. He was very capable of handling this kind of case, although the case was very, very crucial and critical, right? Next is, what was the difference between Shylock the Jew and the merchant Antonio that the Duke was not able to resolve? If you remember, we had seen here, are you acquainted with the difference? So what difference is the Duke talking about? That is the question here, right? So obviously the difference is the dispute between Shylock and Antonio, right? According to which Shylock had signed a bond and now he is unable to pay that money to Shylock. Antonio had signed the bond. He's now unable to pay the money because of his ship, his fortune being lost, right? And now he has to give his pound of flesh, okay, from Antonio's heart. If the latter, that is Antonio, fails to fulfill the terms of the bond. So he has till now failed to fulfill the terms, right? So that's the dispute that the Duke is talking about here. And next is, how does Portia succeed in saving Antonio? That we had seen in the previous trial scene already. That's very, very important. And what does this reveal of her character? Very, very important question. I want you all to prepare this question very well. So if you remember, Portia succeeded in saving Antonio by interpreting the bond in the letter, not the spirit of the law as Shylock insisted on it. She warned Shylock that the bond did not allow to shed even a single drop of blood while taking the pound of flesh. This is how she succeeded, and she trapped Antonio in his own bond, okay, and thus defeating Shylock with his own weapon. She saved Antonio from the clutches of Shylock. Very, very important. Okay, Portia's shrewd interpretation of the law, that was something which had saved Antonio. It is her genius which helps her to rescue Antonio from the clutches of the Jew Shylock, who was ready to even take the life of Antonio, who was now appearing to the audience as the butcher, ready to take his life. Her ready wit, clear vision, her persuasive eloquence, dignity and courtesy. Okay, never was there a more charming lawyer combining herself. So these are the facts. Wit, clear vision, courtesy, dignity, persuasive eloquence. These are the characteristic features, especially wit and clear vision. These are very, very important for you to mention. She performs the triple role of a jury, a judge and a loyal woman. Very, very important, guys. Please mention this in your answer. You will definitely be awarded with good marks. Okay? The next extract is again very important. We had discussed this famous speech of Portia in the previous session. So please go ahead and look at what we had discussed in the previous session. Now let's read this extract, guys. But mercy is above his sceptered sway. It is enthroned in the hearts of kings. It is an attribute to God himself. And earthly power doth then show likest gods when mercy seasons justice. Very important. So justice without mercy is going to be very, very harmful, and that is exactly proved at the end of the trial scene. So who is the speaker? Why did the speaker appeal to the law of mercy? Earlier, who else in the play had appealed for mercy? Any idea? The speaker, you know, the speaker is definitely Portia. And why did the speaker appeal to the Jew for mercy? If you remember, Shylock was very rigid. He was stringent upon the law. He was not at all ready to mold the law, even if it took the life of another human being. So he was at that time not caring about the law, what is right, what is wrong. What was important for him was to exact his revenge upon Antonio, right? So Shylock was rigid to charge penalty as mentioned in the bond. Thus, Portia appeals to the Jew as she wants to save Antonio without resorting to legal actions. Okay, so she appeals to the Jew because she wanted to save Antonio, and she did not want to resort to any legal action. But of course, when the Jew did not agree to whatever Portia was saying, she had no other option, and then she did what she did. Right? Earlier in the play, the Duke also appealed for mercy. The Duke himself. Okay, he also appealed, and the nobleman of the highest standing. So yes, he also appealed for mercy to Shylock. But Shylock was not ready to, because he was waiting for this opportunity. Okay. Next is, what are the three qualities of mercy? This is an important question, guys. This can come in your paper, which the speaker has stated just before the extract. Yes. So first of all, it's a divine blessing that benefits, we had discussed this in the previous session also. It benefits both the man who shows mercy and who receives it, right? And mercy is a nobler quality in a royal king, and it is better than the crown that he bears, that he wears. Okay, it is far above the world which is ruled by men with scepters. Scepters, crowns, these are all symbols of royalty, right? So the one who rules with mercy, rules in the heart of his men. Okay, that is very, very important. Okay, give the meaning of, but mercy is above his sceptered sway. How does Shylock turn down Portia's plea for mercy? What does he insist on? Again, a very, very important question. Mercy is above his sceptered sway. Okay, what does it mean? It is more powerful than the king's rod of authority, okay, which symbolizes his power and grandeur on earth. And the merciful king has the quality of God, and the merciful king rules in the hearts of men. Okay, so sceptered sway, it means the king's rod of authority. Scepter is the rod, right? Actually, so what does it symbolize? His rule, his authority. Okay. Now, Shylock takes responsibility for all his deeds. He insists to follow the course of law and enforce proper penalties according to the bond for the breach of agreement. So, he does not want any other thing but the proper law to be followed. He is not ready to mend the law at all. And if there is any breach of the agreement, he is going to penalize that person. That is obviously Antonio. Next is mention two prominent character traits. Very, very important, guys. Again, Shylock's character trait from here. Okay, and of course you have to substantiate your answer with examples. So first of all, he portrays himself as a strict follower of religion. But unfortunately, what we see at the end is he has to let go of his religion. He was stripped of his religion at the end, and he had to be converted into Christianity. Okay, he says When the Duke appeals to him to show pity or to have mercy on Antonio, he tells that he has sworn by the Holy Sabbath to take the penalty. Okay, so that is his. He is showing his the fact that he is strictly following his religion. Shylock is firm and adamant, and he wants nothing but the penalty. So we had already discussed this in the previous class about his character sketch. I had also pointed out what are the points that you need to mention in his character sketch, okay, in this particular scene. So please go back to that particular video to also take points from there, right? So then his motive is to take revenge and to show the strength of his character, and nothing can prevent him. Also, please note, he is intolerant towards the Christians. He hates the Christian, and Antonio was the embodiment of Christianity according to him. Okay, so he is a revengeful and bloodthirsty man. From the very beginning of the play, we see him planning for this revenge because of Antonio's ill treatment. Okay, and subsequently, no appeals from the Duke and the magnificence, even they fail to, the Duke also fails to move him to pity. Even Portia's eloquent plea for mercy, that also tends to have no impact on him. He feels happy, he feels jubilant when he sees that the verdict of the court would go in his favor. And he begins to exult over Portia's pronouncement in the beginning that he has a very strong case. Very, very important. He says that that there is no power in the tongue of man to alter his resolve to take a pound of flesh. So here he becomes a murderer, a butcher, right? My deeds upon my head, he says. That means I don't care about my deeds. What is important is no one can now alter or change my resolve to take a pound of flesh because he has failed to pay my loan, right? He simply invokes the law which entitles him to the penalty and the forfeit of his bond, and then he clings to the position that he has taken up. So he is very, very shrewd. So again, a point, shrewd. Okay, he shows he shows that he is very, very shrewd when it comes to the law and when it comes to taking his revenge. So yes, revengeful, and that too very, very shrewd. Okay guys, so I hope this session is going to be helpful along with the previous session. So please watch both the sessions to have a complete hold over Merchant of Venice, Act 4. And please do not forget to read the act in its original version before you look at these sessions. Okay. So in case you guys have any problems, you face a lot of doubts and you have no conceptual clarity, we are there to help you out with our live interactive courses where we are going to cover our entire syllabus with live online quizzes, cover your, revise your entire entire syllabus through handwritten notes by the experts, and we will be solving your doubts then and there with the help of your class teachers. Also, you will be able to clear your concepts topic wise with assignments that you will be receiving at the end of each session. Also, you would be able to take mock tests and improve your percentage. You have thousands of micro courses absolutely free. And here is the link. What you need to do is just visit the link and use the coupon code SWRE Pro in order to get the discount. Okay, this is your plan for the light, right? And this is for classic. In the classic plan, you will have a special doubt solving on mobile app, and that's going to start right from 8 AM to 11 PM. So you could ask all of your doubts pre and post your sessions. Isn't that amazing, guys? So guys, thank you so much for watching. Do not forget to visit the description box and please do comment. Let me know about the character sketch, the difference in the character of Antonio and Shylock, whatever you have seen till here. Okay, that is your homework, guys. Please do comment on the homework question at the end of the session in the comment section. Do not forget to hit the like button, share the video amongst your friends, and subscribe to the channel in case you haven't. Thank you for watching. We'll be back very soon. We'll see you very soon in our next session. Take care. Bye-bye.